In 1996, Scholastic began publishing Animorphs. Over the next 6 years, Katherine Applegate and her husband, Michael Grant, under the pseudonym K.A. Applegate, produced 54 main series books, several spin-offs, and inspired a TV series, graphic novels, and a cult following. We can't tell you where we live. We can't even tell you our last names. But we can tell you our thoughts and feelings on this series, book by book. I'm Miranda.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Chris.
And we are...
the Anidorks.
These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
So we're on the set. And a lot happens here, right? Like, everyone comes through.
Yeah, this is
everybody starts hanging out in this area. Bart's there with his animals and some zookeepers. And they do a look over of the set. And it's some comfy looking chairs. Mm-hmm. And then, Barry comes through and he's like, hello, everyone. And he's just like really like gung ho and whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Cindy Sue comes by in a wave of perfume, which I think is interesting. And she cares enough to pretend to be nice to Rachel and give her a smile. But she apparently...
complicated character.
Everybody knows she hates the animal guy. Mm-hmm. And that's just an industry, like an open industry secret, because one time one of his animals peed on her. He acts like it was the dress she was upset about, but I really think it was the getting peed on as a
Bart
person.
Jacobs
that
does.
Was the bigger issue.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy Jason McCole does flip his shit about not being allowed in the green room.
What do you mean the green room is closed? This whole thing I just imagine as a Nickelodeon cartoon.
I'm Jeremy.
The Yerk can't say his name.
And Rachel starts thinking about the fact that the real Jeremy Jason McCole is trapped in there, and that because he was a voluntary controller, for some reason this forever gives Yerks more power over your brain.
And we talked about this. If we feel like, obviously Jeremy Jason McCole is a victim, but Rachel makes it really difficult to feel any kind of way about that when she's just like, right now the real Jeremy Jason was caged in a corner of his own mind. He was watching helplessly as the Yerk controlled his every movement, his every action, his every word. Was it beginning to occur to the vain, ambitious jerk that he had been tricked? And it's like, oh, okay.
She literally does use the phrase Jeremy Jason had asked for it, which, while literally true, does feel a little victim blaming. Because, as we know, concealing one's identity is, you can't have informed consent that way. And informed consent is key. Uninformed consent is still not consent. Jeremy Jason McCole is a victim.
Yeah.
And in this pandemonium, this utter three-ring circus that is the Barry and Cindy Sue set, Rachel starts to get a little stressed.
She starts to feel a little sick. Which she really does feel very sick. Cassie thinks she's allergic morphing.
Right.
But she's like,
no, this is something else.
Thing.
This is allergic pooping. Burping.
This is DNA burping. This is burping the crock.
Which we should just say it at least once this episode. The heareth illen. I feel like we haven't.
We've said it like 4 times.
We have? Okay.
She says, I think maybe I'm having that thing. And Cassie says, what thing? And she says, you know. And Cassie says, your period? She goes, not that one. The other one.
What's the other one?
Your comma.
Man, do things really fly? We get some very short chapters the rest of the book.
This is really nuts. There's a lot to get here. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's speed run this shit.
Bang, boom. Cassie and Rachel watch as Bart Jacobs goes on with Marco the llama. Jeremy Jason is having an angry conversation in a dark corner somewhere. And Rachel is falling apart, she says.
Yeah. Losing control of her own body. She needs to find a place to be that is not in front of anyone's eyes. She needs to be out of sight.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, she's having this hair with Illich. She's getting that croc DNA out of her.
Yeah, but in the process, she's like embodying croctitude while being a human. Like, she's not morphing. She's losing control of her human. Like, the croc is taking on a human morph almost.
Yes.
They're sharing, it's like two consciousnesses in one brain. Like, that's what I think she says at one point.
She
And
ends
then
up
at
like...
some point, the crocodile sort of takes over. And she ends up trying to, like, swish her tail, and she just wags her butt. And then she starts trying to run, but she just starts waving her arms wildly like she was a crocodile. She's like shimmying.
They
And
better
then she
adapt
knows-
this one.
Yeah,
She knows she wants to bite something.
Yeah, so she fucking bites Jeremy Jason McCole.
It's true. And Cassie's like, she's a big fan. And then she tries to bite Cassie. And then Marco, the llama, comes off stage and is like, I killed it. They love me. And she bites Marco. In a callback, I feel, to the scene in the television show where Rachel was a cat and Marco was a mouse. And she's like, I could have, you remember that weird thing where she acts like she's going to bite his neck?
Yes. Where they'd all been at theater camp too long.
But this wasn't even the worst of it, apparently. Because she's realizing that she's going to not only burp the croc, it's going to become the full croc. Like, it's starting to stick out of her back. She feels it straining her clothes. She says she looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's like a Katamari rolling up animals.
And I'm just going to continue to ask, did she not visualize what this process was going to be at all? I don't think she gets to have it be a surprise. I don't think, but, she does.
And so... But then she also starts to feel a lot of ways about what's going on. And that's just making it worse because she still technically has the offending DNA. So she's going to start allergy morphing again.
Yeah. It was making her very upset. She was mad. She was scared. She was mad at how scared she was. She was a whole basket of extreme emotion, she says.
So they tear off in chapter 22 to find a place for this to go. They find the women's bathroom and they shut it and they block the door. And
someone keeps trying to come in. There's like a little
it's like
recurring
the best
bit
part
where
of
a
it.
woman's like, I really have to
pee. Yeah, it's so bad. And they just keep shouting occupy, but this woman will not give up. Like
she really has to go.
And she really just should have found another bathroom. I think like at some point.
She tries.
Yeah, but
she leaves. And she comes back.
Yes, yeah. And by this point, Rachel is in grizzly bear morph. Did we get there?
She's allergic morphing grizzly bear. Yeah.
And it happens very quickly. She says it happens at warp speed.
And she's got the crocodile growing out of her back.
Right. So she's
her front is morphing grizzly bear, and she's got the crocodile growing out of her back.
She's like a biblical creature at this point.
It's like a chimera.
A chimera, yeah.
She starts
Which is
warning.
Greek, not biblical, but,
Whatever.
Cassie, you have to morph because this crocodile will kill you. They're catching up to how dangerous it is to Cassie's in a bathroom.
And Rachel is realizing that the crocodile is going to completely separate. And she's like, this is not a Rachel-controlled crocodile. This is a regular-ass crocodile.
Right. It's not like Rachel can take control of the morph. Yeah. And Cassie panics and morphs into a squirrel.
Yeah, and hides on a toilet in a stall.
This is the craziest description. After Cassie morphs the squirrel, which, won't be able to defend itself against the crocodile, but might get away.
Evade,
But Rachel then burps the crocodile, and she describes it as, I felt a slurping, sliding sensation. It was like my guts were being ripped out through my back, only it wasn't really painful. More like extremely nauseating. I imagine like one of those dreams where your teeth are falling out or something. Yeah.
No, I was just imagining a very specific kind of period cramp.
Oh, that's fair.
Like really in your lower back, it's not good. But she's saying her whole back. So I'm reading into it a bit.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense.
But then she felt the weight drop off and a thud. She had burped the croc.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a crocodile and Rachel and grizzly bear morph in here. And
Cassie is a squirrel. And this woman who really has to pee.
Yes, this woman now comes back.
And barges in.
She's like, I can't find another bathroom.
But she shoulders the door and breaks the lock, presumably.
And then the door just explodes off its hinges because a crocodile and a bear were lunging toward it.
We should set up, too, the grizzly bear morph has been like Rachel's tank morph. It's the most powerful morph they've acquired yet. And she kind of sets up here that the grizzly has no weapons to use on the crocodile. Like, the crocodile has the advantage, and she does not feel like she could win the fight against the crocodile. So she doesn't feel evenly matched with it. She feels like,
This is not a safe situation.
They describe one of the most beautiful sequences.
Go ahead and take us through this.
Here's what I'm going to start with, giving you what I picture, which is that the crocodile is running. The grizzly is lying down on its back. It has been knocked down, and she is like with both hands or with both paws, like starfish crawling up the walls, but scooting backwards. And scooting's important here. I'm going to read this description for you all because it's beautiful. I tried to get up on all fours, but man, that crocodile was fast. With no time to get up, I could only power my way down the hall by clawing. I sunk 6-inch claws into the walls and propelled myself, scooting along on my back like some weird, out-of-control grizzly skateboarder. I scooted in terror, ripping the walls as I went. The croc scooted after me, snapping at the air just millimeters from my hind legs. Cassie had almost been thrown. She was holding on to the croc's neck with all her strength, tiny little squirrel Cassie, but she couldn't reach his eyes anymore. And then, still scooting, I ran out of the hallway. With one last push, I scooted on my back out into the backstage area, trailing a huge crocodile and a chittering manic squirrel. People standing around off the set began to notice us.
I cannot believe how many scooted variants there are.
It seems like it has to be intentional, scoots. Right?
It's
like
amazing.
They didn't want us to forget the scooting, and also
scooting across the sky.
It's
just
there if you knew to look for it.
Unbelievable.
The invisible thread holding Animorphs together is actually scooting.
It is
the verb of the series.
Verb of the series. I agree.
So they basically emerge onto the busy set. This is basically what happens.
In a brawl. Just a brawl begins.
Yeah. Everyone starts blaming poor Bart Jacobs, saying, get those animals out of here, expecting him to wrangle them. But he's like, I don't know where they came from. And everyone just starts to flee. And also the crocodile bites Rachel's grizzly bear leg.
And just grinds on it. It's awful, the description. And they're like, should we go to commercial?
So they go to commercial.
It's chapter 24. Marco as a llama charged the crocodile at one point in this chaos, but he couldn't really do anything, and he just gets flung off to the side.
But they're on camera. This is all live. And Jeremy
Cindy Sue cannot be bothered, by the way.
Barry and Cindy Sue, they're trying to continue interviewing Jeremy Jason McCole.
And he was just about to say the thing that he got yerked for a reason, and that is to promote the sharing. He's out there. He was about to say the sentence. I'm so glad you asked me that, Barry and Cindy Sue. I'm involved with this group that I think is a really... Can I take that again, Barry and Cindy Sue? I'm involved with this group
that I think is a really wonderful organization. I think. And then out comes the crocodile.
Grizzly bear, crocodile, squirrel, lamia. They're all out there on stage just trampling around and knocking everything over. They yell, can we get Bart Jacobs to come out here and remove his animals? Cindy Sue said. She was keeping it cool, actually. So she actually probably said it like this. She was
she's like just powdering her nose. Yeah. She's like,
can we get Bart Jacobs to come out here and remove his animals?
Poor Bart Jacobs is cracking under the pressure.
They aren't my animals, you silly twit. To which I say, maintain composure, Bart Jacobs.
Yeah. Definitely called her the C word, by the way.
Yeah, these are...
Well, here's the thing.
On live TV.
In my hand cannon.
Bang! Bang! We have Barrett here on the podcast with us.
In my headcanon, he is supposed to be like a Steve Irwin type, so I imagine he may be Australian, and they do say the C word a lot.
Yeah.
But Cassie is also thrown off, her poor little squirrel self. She'd been trying to like scratch at the crocodile's eyes like that was gonna fix everything. And Cassie gets thrown, and it's just Rachel and the crocodile.
I want to cover that Jeremy Jason McCole isn't running away. He's gone completely limp.
Frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
I don't think he went completely limp.
All right.
I think that's an overstatement.
So do you think this is the
He
Yerk?
just ragdolled on the spot.
He just
Is this the
T-posed and
Yerk?
fell over.
The Yerk just shutting down in the face of like a threat? Is that what we think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I think first it's pissed that it can't get its message out. That's the initial freeze, right? But then
It had
once
only
it
prepared
realizes
for
it's in-
one stressful job today.
That's right.
But yeah, like he's holding still and he's in the middle of it all too. And then she notices what Axe is up to. Axe is like demorphed and is an Andalite form ready to go. But
Let us not forget, he is prepared to make a point. He is prepared for this situation exactly because he knew Rachel wasn't listening.
That's fair. But he's not in front of the cameras yet.
Yeah, he stayed off camera. I don't know how anybody else didn't see him.
Yeah.
Except that they were all terrified of the bear and the crocodile.
Suddenly, the crocodile jerked its entire body with incredible violence. I was in grizzly bear morph, and I never would have believed anything was that much stronger than a grizzly. But when the crocodile thrashed, we all knew it. Cassie had been thrown. Miranda was covering this. Lost sight of her. She flew through the air. And then we get that's right. If I stood and fought, she would lose to the crocodile. And then Jake decides at this exact moment, he wants to leave.
He's pulling
Everyone
the plug.
should
Pulling
flee.
the plug. Everyone should flee.
Cassie and Squirrel Morph is at the light switches. She's ready to turn off the lights. And so that everyone can run? Is that right? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cassie says when the lights go down, everyone bail.
Because she just wants to provide some cover? Is that? Yeah. Okay. Marco is ready to flee. He bumps into, in Lumpamorph, he bumps into Jeremy Jason McCole. His hooves splay on the wax floor, and that's what makes him slide into Jeremy Jason McCole. And
this knocks Jeremy Jason's seat
directly into
front,
the path
of the crocodile.
The audience is still there. They have seen the Andalite, I think.
Just screaming in horror.
They have to.
Well, the Andalite's sort of like standing off to the side, I think. So they're probably watching the crocodile. So maybe no. But Cindy Sue finally realizes it's dangerous and runs. Barry starts asking for a stapler. Gotta love Barry.
What is that about?
Bad naming, I think, that they had a Barry and a Bart, because I just realized I had been confusing the two of them.
Sure. That is bad naming. But what is the stapler about?
I
He's
think
just
it's just
asking.
panicking.
He doesn't know what will help, so he's asking.
But is
something.
it like he noticed that all the scripts were getting knocked over and he's like, I can collate these quick?
It says he was just yelling ridiculous directions in total panic, so I think he's just freaking out and isn't thinking clearly.
He probably just thought like a stapler could do more hit points of damage than an unarmed strike on a crocodile.
Maybe we can staple him to the floor.
And then he can't move. Yeah.
Jeremy Jason McCole suddenly starts reacting very vividly.
And going, save me.
Rachel's bear eyes aren't that good, but she could swear she sees something kind of ooze out of Jeremy Jason's ear.
And this is something I want to talk about because JJM is getting de-yerked here, and his yerk cut and ran on him. But here's something I'm really, really baffled about. Even if JJM got disemboweled and cut into tiny little bits, as long as the head isn't, yerk's fine. Like, the yerk is basically in a little tank.
But the crocodile might eat the whole thing.
Possible. But crocodiles,
there's people running around in all directions.
Any falling book could kill the yerk.
Yeah, I don't disagree that it might not have been safer to stay in the head. And because clearly part of his thought was like, if I'm out of the ears, someone can pick me up. I know there are other controllers here. But, like, if you know there are other controllers here...
Then you can wait.
Then you can wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and also if your reaction to seeing the chaos was to freeze, it's strange that suddenly then the Yeerk would have the... It doesn't seem consistent that the Yeerk would then be like, I'm going to flee and actually make a run for it. Like, it just seems like, yeah.
Yeah.
If your response to one thing, because it's all the Yeerk, so it all should be this, it should be consistent. And
yeah, you can't fight, flight, and freeze.
And there's so many people running around, which, as we'll learn, that was a threat to this Yeerk. So,
yeah.
But so right as Rachel sees this Yeerk climbing out of Jeremy Jason's... Rachel's really stuck on the fact that Yeerks are gray, by the way. She mentions it a couple of times. The Yeerk climbs out of the air, and then Cassie cuts the lights, and everyone runs for it.
Except one person. Who jumps toward the chaos.
It's Axe. Axe is ready to take some hands off.
Because Jeremy Jason McCole is actually he's still screaming, save me.
Right. Axe has been hands off this whole time, and now he's ready to take somebody else's hands off, if you know what I mean.
He jumps through, the tail flashes 4 times.
Yes. And a tail flashed.
And the crocodile lets go.
Yeah.
Jeremy Jason.
I don't know how he convinced him. But, he cut him into fucking 5 segments. Yeah. Just like cut him clean like a loaf of bread.
Just serves as a nice little reminder how powerful Axe is as their fighter. Like, they really built up this crocodile, and he has no trouble taking it out.
He also seems to be able to see, which I don't feel like is anything that I don't feel like we've ever addressed that. That's
a really good point. In addition to that, Axe confirms that he saw the Yeerk leave the body of Jeremy, whatever his name is, Jeremy Jason McCole. So Rachel is like, oh my God, I did see that. I did see the gray slug crawl out of his body.
I think what we have with this Yeerk, because they say the Yeerk had panicked. It didn't want to be swallowed up along with its host body. It was crawling around on the dark stage like a snail without its shell. I think this Yeerk got promoted too quickly.
Agreed. If this had been Temresh...
he wasn't ready.
This had been Temresh, what was it?
114?
114? Innis 226 Temresh 114. If this had been Temresh 114, he was a professional. He had been in high-stakes, important interactions. He had landed big deals. But, Temresh is no more, rip.
You at least stick around for the fugue. Like, this Yeerk didn't even... At least that's something you can look forward to. Yes, I might die in this human's head. But at least
the fugue.
The fugue. Yeah.
The beautiful music of death.
Yeah, no fugue. No strange, monstrous sighting of a giant red eye somewhere on the Yeerk planet. So, yes, and so everyone's okay.
They cut and
they all run away. Yep, they're
Rachel
all just
steps on the Yeerk.
Yeah,
she's no more.
Yep, she while she's walking away, she feels one of her massive bear paws step on something warm and squishy, something that felt like a slug. I don't think that Yeerk made it too far, she said, because she's a psychopath. And now we get to chapter 26. We did it, guys. I can't even believe, we're not. No, I'm sorry. We're not out yet. We're not out of this scene yet.
Seemingly everyone demorphs. Oh, no. Rachel, Cassie. No, everyone demorphs in the ladies' room.
And then Axe morphs human.
Yes.
But they lost Cassie.
Yes. Yeah.
And they all quickly pick up drink holders of coffee, and they're going to pretend that they're interns and get the fuck out of there. That's the plan.
So Rachel's like, everybody else can leave. I'm the one who's supposed to be here, so I'll find Cassie. And then she's turning a corner, and she almost runs into a person. And luckily, he doesn't turn around, because he's staring at the person directly in front of him, who is Rachel.
How? Now, so Cassie called an audible and said, I need to explain Rachel's absence.
She's been looking forward to this, I'm telling you.
She morphed. She's
like, I can Rachel better than Rachel. I know I can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lord knows I could. Yeah, can you, so this is Cassie as Rachel. Yeah, can you believe my luck? The voice seems strange and familiar at the same time. Like I heard it before, but not quite this way. Then I realized. And then back to Cassie as Rachel. I mean, I fall in a crocodile pit, my house falls down on me, and now this? I raised up on tiptoes, looked over the man's shoulder. What I saw was me. Me. Actually, it was Cassie morphed into me. The man she was talking to was one of the show's producers.
You are a very unlucky girl.
Thank you. That is what I keep telling people. They keep saying how lucky I am to survive, and I keep saying as if.
You know, for a moment there I wondered about you. But the crocodile has been destroyed, and yet here you are.
I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, I'm glad the crocodile didn't kill me too, I guess. I'm getting out of here. I have to find my dad. He's here somewhere. Hopefully not in a crocodile. It would it would help if someone would, like, you know, get things organized much.
And as Cassie, as Rachel walks off, the man yells, "And a light!" And Cassie comes up with the most brilliant response I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. A light would be helpful. You're totally right. We should get one of those.
Because the lights are still out, I think, from when
Cassie
flipped
and
them.
a light.
Mm-hmm. It's very
Apparently
good.
the man makes a snorting, dismissive sound, which I really want to hear. Like,
that was it. That was it. I'm not even going to try.
They have this nice little interaction where Rachel says, "Nice job, sister." And Cassie says, oh, good, you're back. I'm having the worst time trying to control this morph. And then she explains, this brain of yours, Rachel, it keeps trying to get me to do really dumb things. And I like the idea that Rachel's like a difficult morph because she's so
me
impulsive.
too.
She's very strong-willed.
Yeah.
And then Rachel tries to talk Cassie into staying in her morph long enough to take the thrashing from Jake she's gonna get.
To which Cassie says, nope. Rachel calls her a coward, and she goes, yeah, I am a coward.
Which is fair, because Rachel really almost killed her friends this book. We're not done. We have one little epilogue chapter. But, like, she really over and over again.
Eddie, she could do
Just
it. She's done less with the chapter. She's done more with the chapter before. So, like, she could kill them all here in chapter 27.
Let's tune in and find out. So we jump to them all in Rachel's hotel room. I'm guessing because, like, she doesn't have it for that much longer, and so they're trying to make the most of it.
She says it'll be another week until her house is rebuilt, but they get
pretty quick.
Her dad's paying for the room service and the cable TV, so they may as well take advantage of it.
Yeah. I like this little factoid. She's describing how they're all sitting there, and then she says, there was also a disturbingly pretty boy named Axe, a boy who wasn't actually an Andalite.
No,
he was actually an Andalite.
Take it again.
Thanks. There was also a disturbingly pretty boy named Axe, a boy who was actually a yerk. Shit. All right. There was also a disturbingly pretty boy named Axe who was actually an Andalite when he wasn't in human morph. Well, no, duh.
I think he's still an Andalite even when he's in human morph.
Axe's entire face was so beautiful and covered with pie. Axe doesn't usually have some mouth, but when he does, boy howdy, it's a good one. And he sure likes
Oh, no, you can't say that. Boy howdy, it's a good one.
Oh, you're right. That did sound really dirty.
There is kind of, they mentioned Tobias is there on the windowsill in, he's a red-tailed hawk. Tobias didn't want pie, and it gets a line of its own, and then they move on, and it's like, it feels like he's like, and then there was Tobias, and the mood changes for a moment, and then it's like, and everything was fun, like it does feel like Tobias is an omen or something.
Oh my god,
Tobias didn't want pie.
Maybe it was because he was a bird trapped in bird morph.
She was supposed to be the one paying attention to him, like.
Marco's come up with his own tune to Entertainment Tonight's theme song, which I've never heard. He made his own
lyrics to Entertainment Tonight's theme song.
And then we get a news flash on Entertainment Delight. It's a delight.
Afternoon delight.
All right. So I don't know what the clapping was, but for some reason...
I did it to the tune of something else. I did it to the... Da, 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 da.
Down at Fraggle Rock. Down at Fraggle Rock. That's unbelievable because I got the tune right, but not the...
And you did the clap.
Oh, that's some deep shit right there. All right. So we get an update. The male announcer on the news says, you'll all remember the story we reported. Yes. Sorry. You'll all remember... Oh my God. You'll all remember this.
Remember the famous GameCube game, Super Smash Brothers Melee. No, he says, you'll all remember the story we reported yesterday of the incredible melee during the broadcasting of the Barry and Cindy Sue show. Wild animals brought to the show by Bart Jacobs. He's still getting blamed for this. Created a terrible scene during which Jeremy Jason McCole, the young star of the hit television series Powerhouse, was nearly eaten by a crocodile.
Well, today we have an update. No, take it away. I'm sorry.
Well, today we have an update. Jeremy Jason McCole is out of the hospital. Doctors say he'll be fine. But in an amazing development, his agent says Jeremy Jason is quitting Powerhouse and leaving the country. McCole's agent, I don't know why they talk like this on Entertainment Tonight now that I'm thinking about it. McCole's agent refuses to divulge the young actor's whereabouts, but sources say he's been spotted in Uzbekistan, a small country, a small Central Asian nation. There we go.
No, and they pull out a map. And they do a 2-hour deep dive on
on former Soviet states.
Yes, exactly.
Which is, by the way, why none of them know what Uzbekistan is. Probably.
Yeah.
Because it became a country 7 years ago.
That's true, yeah.
I think we have Jeremy Jason McCole. We're left to think he's the real victim here, right? But I think it's Bart Jacobs.
Yeah,
I agree. I
think Jeremy Jason McCole is probably actually repenting and going to some sort of like weird monastery to live out the rest of his life.
Like
as far away from crocodiles as he can. And being trained by Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Much later in life, was it E! True Hollywood Story? What is it when they check in with the star and what's happening with them? I forget what those specials are called. But
where are they now?
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah. But one day we'll get one about Jeremy Jason McCole.
So they're watching TV. They turn it off, Entertainment Tonight, and they're like, we should watch something else. But then the girls start gushing about Jeremy Jason McCole again because it's a pity he's not going to be on TV anymore because he's just so cute.
Marco says Axe should have let the crocodile eat him when it had the chance.
And Rachel says he was, without a doubt, the cutest guy ever. And so Jake tries to have Marco put on Baywatch, but Marco, he's a crafty little fella. He manages to keep the remote that Rachel tries to grab from him and instead put on Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah.
And Rachel says, well, okay, this we can watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then roll credits.
Roll credits. That's the end of the book, everybody.
That's book 12. Book 12, the
reaction.
The reaction. Which actually, it's an allergic reaction.
Yeah,
that's true. Think of it.
Well,
also,
it was
Rachel's
a book.
reaction.
It was a book.
Rachel's very reactionary. Rachel has a lot of reactions. It feels
fantastic.
like a period and sexual awakening book all in one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, unfortunately, kind of how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those tend to happen around the same time. It's like you start thinking about the things your body can do right at the time you feel grossest about your body.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, people can do those things? Oh, God, I'm so gross, though.
It does. It feels like it takes something like that's always been there, like a particular quality of the Animorphs, like one of its anxieties, like body anxieties, and just cranks the knob up on it for a book.
Gives it free reign, full voice to just say whatever it needs to say. Let's get it out there.
At no point do they provide any explanation about why it enables you to morph directly from one morph to another.
Yes, which I'm still concerned about going forward.
The zero space, I mean, they explain that as well as they have to, I feel like. It's like, okay, the entire animal exists in Z space, and you have to pull it out of Z space back into regular space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I buy that. That works well enough for me. But the direct morphing thing, they provide no reason that should be happening.
Yeah, it really doesn't make much sense to me either, but whatever. I guess if morphing is like, if your overworld is your normal species, if morphing is a video game, then your overworld is like, you're the first chamber, and then I always thought of it as a bunch of doors you could go into. Like, I can go into my tiger morph and I can come back to human and go in, but it is a little weird to have these like secret passageways from morph to morph. Yeah.
If the crocodile was invading the space of the other morphs.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, also, it's like maybe the crocodile is wriggling around in Z space and pushing other morphs out and together. I don't know.
That's the only explanation I can come up with, but they don't even bother to try to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Axe probably did. Rachel just wasn't listening. So maybe when we get a more attentive narrator.
Yeah.
Do we think these rules apply to future books, or do you think this is like a one-off?
I sure hope so. I sure hope Cassie's Rachel morph comes back into play. I
feel like by the end of the series, they all have each other's morphs.
Yeah.
I feel like, or at least a lot of them.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Miranda, you started to say you liked it. I like parts of this book. I think parts of it were a lot of fun. I think overall, I think it was kind of I didn't have as much fun reading this one, but there are parts I really liked. I just don't think it's my favorite.
No, that's fair.
And I'm going to go on the record and say I'm the one who runs the Twitter, so don't yell at me for Eddie's opinion about book 12. I loved it.
It doesn't do much to advance the plot, certainly. It doesn't do almost anything at all. And if it does, if this knowledge gets used, it will at least have been useful in educating us about certain things about Z-Space. I don't know that I think anybody's ever gonna have an allergy again. I'm gonna be honest, I think I said it before, but like when they were fighting the Visser in that morph, Visser 3 in the water, I don't know, I just had this thought that he was gonna get an allergic reaction by the end of the book, and that was gonna be the big payoff. So if that happens, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I sort of doubt it. Although I feel like it's a great way to write yourself an out for another filler book.
Yeah.
Is to have the big reveal at the end be that Visser 3 goes to use his new morph and it's like out of control. He can't control it because he's allergic. And it's like we got away because of a bad allergy day.
Yeah.
Like high pollen count.
Yeah.
I was very excited. I know we touched on this in an earlier episode. I was very excited to have a book that focused more on Cassie and Rachel's relationship. I don't actually think this gave much depth to anything we've seen between them before. No. Like, it's not what I wanted to see of
Rachel
their friendship.
Rachel just doesn't get deep friendships. Like,
I did like watching them bond over, like, crushing on the same boy a little bit, but it's definitely not it was fun. Depth thing.
But she really doesn't seem, I guess in Tobias's book, she urges Tobias to like keep trying and that they're going to do a thing. And she's like emotional support for Tobias. But other than that one scene, I like can't think of like a conversation not being somehow duplicitous or like not duplicitous, but like
there being lying involved somehow. What she's doing, either hiding something or
I feel like maybe she's an easier character for them to write when she's not narrating, because her thing is being brash, it is being impulsive, and it's harder to. I feel like it's probably a higher degree of difficulty to write because you kind of have to justify it when you're narrating, or you have to.
Right.
Yeah. And it's maybe easier to write that from the outside rather than the inside.
Totally.
Well, next we have Andalite Chronicles. We've already said this at some other point, but we are going to have the Andalite Chronicles be our season finale. So.
Yeah.
That's right. It's the last book we're reading this season.
Yeah. We'll probably have more episodes than usual because it's a longer book and it seems like there's a lot there. But we're going to close out season 2 with that.
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
Of Anidorks, and we couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah. So don't stop. We can't stop. We won't stop.
That's true.
We shan't stop. I don't even know how that one works. Shan't. We shan't.
And we'll be back soon.
Yeah. We're making hearts with our hands. You can't hear it, but hearts with our hands.
You can feel it. You can sense it.
I wish I could
feel the love.
I can't get a picture.
Directly into the mic.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon.